The scene. The kitchen is the now abandoned farmhouse of John Wright. A gloomy kitchen and left without having been put in order. Unwashed pans under the sink, a loaf of bread outside the bread box, a dish towel on the table, other signs of incomplete work. At the rear, the outer door opens. The sheriff comes in followed by the country's attorney and Hale. The sheriff and Hale are a man in the middle light. The country attorney is a young man. All are much bundled up and go at once to the stove. They are followed by the two women. The sheriff's wife first. She is slight, wiry woman. A thin, nervous face. Mrs. Hale is larger and would ordinarily be called more comfortable looking, but she is disturbed now and looks fearfully about as she enters. The women have come in slowly and stand close together near the door.
This feels good. Come out to the fire, ladies. This feels good. Come out to the fire, ladies.
I'm not cold.
Now, Mr. Hill, before we move things along, you explained to Mr. Anderson just what you saw when you come here yesterday morning.
By the way, has anything been moved? Are things just as you left them yesterday?
It's just the fact. Ay, balik sa yeah. It's just the same. When it dropped below zero last night, I thought I'd better send Frank out this morning to make a fire for us. No use getting, It's just the same. When it dropped below zero last night, I thought better send Frank out this morning to make a fire for us. No use getting pneumonia with a big case on. But I told him not to touch anything except the stove. And you know, Frank,
Somebody should have been left there yesterday.
oh, yesterday when I had to send Frank to Morris Center for that man who went crazy. I want you to know I had my hands full yesterday. I know you could get back from Omaha by today, and as long as I went over everything here myself.
Well, Mr. Hill, tell just what happened when you came here yesterday morning.
Harry and I started to town with a load of potatoes. We came along the road from my place, and as I got here, I said I'm going to see if I can get John Wright to go in with me and on a party telephone. I spoke to Wright about it once before, and he put me off, saying folks talk too much anyway, and all he asked was peace and quiet. I guess you know about how much he talked himself, but I thought maybe if I went to the house and talked about it before his wife, though, I said to Harry that I didn't know what his wife wanted made much difference to John.
Let's talk about that later, Mr. Hill. I don't want to talk about that, but tell now just what happened when you go to the house.
I didn't hear or see anything. I knocked at the door and still it was all quiet inside. I knew they must be up. It was past 8 o'clock. So I knocked again and I thought I heard somebody say, "Come in." I wasn't sure. I'm not sure yet, but I opened the door. This door indicating the door by which the two women are still standing, and they're in the rocker, pointing to it, saying, "Sat Mr. Wright."
What was she doing?
She was rocking back and forth. She had her apron on her hand and was kind of bleeding it.
And how did she look?
Well, she looked queer.
How do you mean queer?
Well, as if she didn't know what she was doing next and kind of got up.
How did you say to feel about your family?
Why? I don't think she minded one or way other. She didn't pay much attention. I said, "How do Mrs. Wright expect cold. How do Mrs. Right? It's cold, ain't it? And she said, is it? And went on kind of looking at her apron. Well, I was surprised. She didn't ask me to come up to the stove or to sit down. But just sat there, not even looking at me. So I said, I want to see John. And then she laughed. I guess you should call. I guess you would call it a laugh or a dull like. Ain't he home? Says I yes. Says she is home. Why? I don't think she minded. One way or other, she didn't pay much attention. I said, how do Mrs. Wright, how do Mrs. It's cold, ain't it? And she said, is it? And went on kind of looking at her apron. Well, I was surprised. She didn't ask me to come up to the stove or sit down, but just sat there, not even looking at me. So I said, I want to see John, and then she laughed. I guess you would call it a laugh. I thought of Harry and the team outside, so I said a little sharp. Can I see John? No. She says kind of all like. And ain't he home? Says yes. He's home. Then why can't I see him? I asked her out of patience that he's dead. Says she dead. Says I. She just nodded her head, not getting a bit excited but rocking back and forth. Why? Where is she? Says I. Not knowing what to say, she just pointed upstairs like himself pointing on the room above. I got up with the idea of going up there. I walked from there to here, then says, why? What did he die of? He died of a rope round his neck. Says she, and just went on fleeting at her apron. Well, I went out and called Harry. I thought might need help. We went upstairs and there he was lying.
I think I'd rather have go into upstairs. Wait. I think I'd rather have to go into that upstairs. When you can point it all out. Just go on now with the rest of the story.
Well, my first thought was to get that rope off. It looks, but Harry, he went up to him and he said, no, he's dead alright and we better not touch anything. So we went back downstairs. She was still sitting the same way. Has anybody been notified? I asked. No, says she unconcerned. Who did this, Mrs. Wright? Said Harry. He said it's businesslike and stopped flipping out of her apron. I don't know, she says. You don't know, says Harry. No, says she. Weren't you sleeping in the bed with him? Says Harry. Yes, says she. But I was on the inside. Somebody slipped a rope round his neck and strangled him, and you didn't wake up? Says Harry. I didn't wake up. She said after him. We must look as if we didn't see how could be. Or after a minute she said, I sleep sound. Harry was going to ask her more questions, but I said maybe we ought to let her tell her story first to coroner or the sheriff. So Harry went fast as he could to River's place, where there's a telephone.
And what did Mr. Wright do when she knew that you had gone for the coroner?
She moved from that chair to this one over here, and just sat there with her hands held together and looking down. I got a feeling that I ought to make some conversation, so I said I had come in to see if John wanted to put in a telephone. And at that she started to laugh. And then she stopped and looked at me, scared. Who has he's got back? And then Dr. Lloyd came, and you, Mr. Peters, and so I guess that's all I know that you know.
I guess we'll go upstairs first and then out to the barn and around there. You've convinced that there was nothing important here, nothing that would point to any motive.
Nothing here but kitchen things.
The country country attorney. After again looking around the kitchen, opens the door of a cupboard closet, he gets up on a chair and looks on a shelf, pulls his hands away sticky.
Here's a nice mess.
Oh, her fruit. It did freeze. She worried about that when it turned so cold. She said the fire would go out and her jars would break.
Well, can you beat the woman held for murder and worrying about her purses? Well, can you beat the woman held for murder and worrying about her person? Well, can you beat the woman held for murder and Can you beat the woman held for murder and worrying about her preserve?
I guess before we're through, she may have something more serious that preserve to worry about.
Well, women are used to worrying over trifles. The two women move a little closer together.
Go.
And yet, for all their worries, what would we do without the ladies?
Go.
And yet, for all their worries, what would we do without the ladies? Dirty towels? Not much of housekeeper, would you say, ladies?
There is a great deal of work to be done on a farm. Go, uy!
To be sure, and yet, I know there are some Dixon country.
Go on, go.
To be sure, and yet, I know there are some Dixon country farmhouses which do not have such roller towel.
Those towels get dirty awful quick. Men's hands aren't always as clean as they might be.
Allusion to your ex? I see.
Go.
Ah, loyal to your sex. I see. But you and Mr. Wright were neighbor. I suppose you were friends too.
I've not seen much of her of late years. I've been in this house. It's more than a year.
And why was that? You did not like her? And why was that? You did not like her?
Go.
I liked her all well enough. Farmers' wives have their hands full. Mr. Henderson. And then,
Yes.
it never seemed a very cheerful place.
No, it's not cheerful. I should not say she had the homemaker making instinct.
Go.
No, it's not cheerful. I should not say she had the homemaking instinct.
Go.
Well, I don't know, as Wright had either.
You mean that they did not get on very well?
No, I don't mean anything. But I don't think a place be any cheerful for John Wright's balik mo.
Go.
No, I don't mean anything. But I don't think a place be any cheerfuler for John Wright's being in it.
I'd like to talk more of that a little later. I want to get the lay of things after now.
I suppose anything Mrs. Peters doesn't be alright. She was to take in some clothes for her, you know, and a few little things. We left in such a hurry yesterday.
Suppose anything, Mrs.
She had a bread set. She was going to put this in there. It's a shame about her food. I wonder if it's all gone. I think there's some here that's alright. Mrs. Peters. Yes, here. This is cherries too. I declare, I believe that's the only one. Someone so bad after all her hard work in a hot weather. I remember the afternoon I picked up my cherries last summer. Balik.
Ito lang.
She puts the bottle on the big kitchen table, center of the room. With a sigh, it's about to sit down in the rocking chair. Before she is seated, realize what chair it is. With a slow look at it, steps back, the chair which she has touched rocks back and forth.
Well, I must get those things in the front from... Ay, balik. Wait! I must get those things from the front room closet. You coming with me, Mrs. Hale? You can help me carry them.
We go in the other room, reappear, Mrs. Peters carrying a dress and skirt, Mrs. Hale following with a pair of shoes.
My, it's cold in there.
She puts the clothes on the big table, and hurries to the stove.
Right, was closed. I think maybe that's why she kept so much to herself. She didn't even belong to the ladies' aid. I suppose she felt she couldn't do her part, and then you don't enjoy things when you feel shabby. She used to wear pretty clothes and be lively. When she was Minnie Foster, one of the town girls singing in the choir, that was 30 years ago. This all you was to take. She said she wanted a funny thing to want, for there isn't much to get with your stay in jail. Goodness knows, but I suppose just to make her feel more natural. She said they was in the top drawer in the cupboard. Yes, here, and then her letter showed that. Why, here's a bird cage. Did she ever have a bird, Mrs. Hale? Why? I don't know whether she did or not. I've not been here for so long. There was a man around last year selling canaries cheap, but I don't know if she took one. Maybe she did. She used to sing real pretty herself. Seems funny to think of a bird cage, but she must have one. Or why would she have a cage? I will wonder what happened to it. I suppose maybe the cat got it. No, she didn't have a cat. She's got that feeling some people have about cats, being afraid of them. My cat got in her room and she was real upset and asked me to take it out. My sister Busy was like that. Prayer, ain't it? Why, look at this door. It's broke. One hinge is pulled apart. Looks as if someone must have been rough with it. Why? Yeah. She brings the cage forward and puts it on the table. I wish if they're going to find any evidence, they'd be about it. I don't like this place. But I'm awful glad you came with me, Mrs. Hale. It would be a lonesome for me sitting here alone. It would, wouldn't it? But I tell you what I do wish, Mrs. Peters. I wish I had come over sometimes when she was here. But of course, you were awful busy, Mrs. Hale. Your house and your children's. I couldn't have come. I stayed away because it weren't cheap, and that's why I ought to have come. I've never liked this place. Maybe because it's down in a hollow and you don't see the road. I don't know what is it, but it's lonesome place and always was. I wish I had come over to see Minnie Foster sometimes. I can see now. Well, you must not reproach yourself, Mrs. Hale. Somehow we just don't see how much... Well, you must not reproach yourself, Mrs. Hale. Somehow we just don't see how much it is with other folks until something comes up. Not having children makes less work, but it makes a quiet house, and right out to work all day and no company would come in. Did you know John Wright, Mrs. Peters? Not to know him. I've seen him in town. They say he was a good man. Yes, good. He didn't drink and kept his word as well as most. I guess I paid his debt. Balik to go. Yes, good. He didn't drink and kept his words as well as most, I guess, and paid his debts. But he was a hard man, Mrs. Peters, just to pass the time of day with him. Like a raw wind that gets to the bone. I should think she wouldn't wanted a bird, but what do you suppose went with it? I don't know, unless it got sick and died. She reaches over and swings the broken door, swings it again. Both women watch her. You were raised round here, were you? You didn't know her. Not till they brought her yesterday. Come to think of it, she was kind of like a bird herself. Real, sweet, or pretty, but kind of intimidating, flattering. How she did change. Tell you what, Mrs. Peters, why don't you take the pill and with you? It might take up her mind.
Why? I think that's a real nice idea, Mrs. Smith. There couldn't possibly be any objection to it, could there? Now, just what would I take? I wonder if my patches are near in her things.
They look in the sewing basket. Here, some bread. I expect there's got sewing things in it. What a pretty box. Looks like something somebody would give to you. Maybe her scissors are in here. Why? There's something wrapped up in this piece of silk.
Why, this isn't her scissors.
Oh, Mrs. Peters, it's the bird. But Mrs. Peters, look at it. Its neck. Look at its neck. It's all other side too.
Somebody wrung its neck.
Their eyes meet. A look of growing comprehension of horror. Steps are heard outside. Mrs. Hale slips box under quilt pieces and sinks into her chair. Enter Sheriff and County Attorney. Mrs. Peters rises.
Well, ladies, have you decided whether she was going to pull it or not it?
We think she was going to nod it.
Well, that's interesting, I'm sure. As the bird flew,
We think the cat got it.
is there a cat?
Mrs. Hale glances in a quick, covert way at Mrs. Peters.
Well, not now. They're superstitious, you know. They leave.
No sign at all of anyone having come from the outside. Their own roof. Now let's go up again and go over it pieces by piece. It would have to have been someone who knew just the...
Mrs. Peters sits down. The two women sit there not looking at the other one, but as if peering into something and at the same time holding back. When they talk now, it is in the manner of feeling their way over strange ground, as if afraid of what they're saying, but as if they cannot help saying it. She liked the bird. She was going to bury it in the pretty box. When I was a girl, my kitten, there was a boy took a picture. And before my eyes, and before I could get there, When I was a girl, my kitten, there was a boy took a hashing. And before my eyes, and before I could get there, if they hadn't held me back, I would have hurt me. I wonder how it would seem never to have had any children around. No, Dry couldn't like the bird, a thing that song. She used to sing. He killed that too. We don't know who killed the bird. I knew John Wright. It was an awful thing was done in this house that night, Mrs. Hale. Killing a man while he sleep, slipping a rope It was an awful thing was done in this house that night, Mrs. Hale. Killing a man while he sleep, slipping around his neck that choked the life out of him. His neck choked the life out of him. Her hand goes out and rests on the bird cage. We don't know who killed him. We don't know. If there'd be still years and years of nothing, then a bird to sing to you. It would be awful. Still, after the bird, the still. I know what stillness is. When we homesteaded in Dakota, my first baby died after he was 2 years old, and me with no other than. How soon do you suppose they'll be through? Looking for the evidence? I know what stillness is. The law has got to punish crime, Mrs. Hale. I wish you'd seen Minnie Foster when she wore a white dress with blue ribbons and stood up in the choir and sang. Oh, I wish I'd come over here once in a while. That was a crime. That was a crime. Who's going to punish them?
We must not. Take on.
I might have known she needed help. I know how things can be for women. I tell you, it's cruel, Mr. Peters. We live close together and we live apart. We all go through the same thing. It's all just kind of different kind of the same thing. If I was you, I wouldn't tell her fruit was gone. Tell her it ain't. Tell her it's alright. Take this into to prove it to her. She may never know whether it was joke or not.
My, it's a good thing that man couldn't hear us. What did they get? My, it's a good thing that man couldn't hear us. Wouldn't they just laugh, getting all stirred up over a little thing like a dead canary, as if that could have anything to do with it?
The men are heard coming downstairs. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't.
It's all perfectly clear, except a reason for doing it. But juries will it comes to women. If there was some definite things, something to show, something to make a story about, and thing that would connect up with this strange way of doing it.
The woman's eyes met for an instant. Into hail from outer door.
Well, I've got the team around. Pretty cool out there.
I'm going to stay here a while by myself. You can see him from out for me, can't you? I want to go over everything. I'm not satisfied that we can't go better.
Do you want to see what Mr. Peter is going to take in?
The lawyer goes to the table, picks up the apron, laughs.
Oh, I guess they're not very dangerous things that ladies have picked out. Mrs. Peter doesn't need supervising for that matter. A sheriff wife is married to the law. Even think of it. What? Why? Mrs. Peter?
Just that way. Sheriff there.
I'm gonna
Hey, nagkuna na.
married to the law. I just wanted to come in here a minute. George, married to the law. I just want you to come in here a minute. George, we ought to take a look at these windows.
Papa.
Go.
Oh, windows?
We'll be right out, Mr. Hale.
Hale goes outside. The sheriff follows the county attorney to the other room. Then Mrs. Hale rises, hands tied together, looking intensely at Mrs. Peters, whose eyes make a slow turn, finally meeting Mrs. Hale. A moment, Mrs. Hale holds her, then her own eyes point the way to where the box is concealed. Suddenly, Mrs. Peters throws back pieces and tries to put the box in the bag she is wearing. It is too big. She opens box, starts to take bird out. Cannot touch it, it goes pieces. Stands there helpless. Sound of a knob turning into the other room. Mrs. Hale snatches the box and puts it in the pocket of her big coat. Enter county attorney and sheriff.
Well, Henry, at least he found out that she was not going to crawl up. She was going to what is it you call it, ladies?
We call it not it, Mr. Henderson.